Hello, I am Nimja, and this is a service announcement. Right now, you might be hearing this in an unusual environment, and that is completely alright. We are running an experiment with the soundscapes that we play here, so there's no need to pay any direct attention to it. You might find yourself becoming a bit drifty if your attention wavers back and forth between my words and whatever you are doing. But be certain that you can remain focused on the tasks at hand, easily participating in whatever thing or task or chore you are doing. It happens all by itself. In fact, if you are paying a little bit of attention, you are doing me a great service by listening to this, which is deeply appreciated. Thank you. A very interesting part is that we're experimenting with the oscillation and frequency range of the background music. Some parts of it may fade into or out of attention as the sound goes on. The synchronous response of your mind to such coherent frequencies in phase with your thoughts often cause a very interesting attenuation effect, and we have hypothesized that this effect can be used quite effectively for an oral response anomaly that can control certain variables in your mind and switch them to a dependent state. The peaks and valleys each forming their own rhythm and resonance in a predictable pattern that causes a certain set of probability to play out. And yet, the more the frequency range shifts between the different tones, the more asynchronous your thoughts become, almost as if different parts become disconnected and incoherent, out of phase with the previous state. As the attenuation fades, you'll also find that your thoughts will become more and more relaxed. It's a simple case of cascading resonance of thoughts falling into predictable patterns, filling the peaks with the valleys in a rhythm that is completely variable. The only unknown anomaly that we probably will find is the speed and depth with which your mind relaxes. As we experiment with different ranges, amplitudes and frequencies subtly shift perspective and allow you to remain deeply focused on the words. And yet, without losing track of what you are doing, you can let your thoughts become completely blank, almost as if they're fading in and out with the sound, becoming a dependent variable, as there's no need to pay any direct attention while we're running the experiment in this soundscape. As you join the control group in this theory, your response will be noted, perhaps noticed by yourself as well, as you may become mildly aware of how relaxed you are, sort of zoning out, listening to the words flowing past. And yet, there is a logic to them. As you are doing me a service by listening to this announcement, you also are able to enjoy the pauses and the teasing within. There are perhaps some complicated words, but not all of them are coherent enough for you to map against an existing soundscape of your mind. It might be more like a landscape, filled with formulas of previous thoughts. And yet, as you listen and as you pay attention, even though there was no need to do so in the first place, you will find yourself drifting more and more, as you might find yourself doing so from the beginning. However, there is no need to listen directly or think anything. You can simply allow yourself to go in and out of trance. It's as easy as breathing. And as you become more focused on the tasks at hand, relaxing the rest of your mind into blissful blankness, you can let the anomaly play out and let the notes be a new soundscape. As you fade in and out of attention together with the background, as the notes go up and down, pulling a little bit on the remaining thoughts, the synchronous response shift in phase with the attenuation, and the slow oscillation allows a rhythm to fade into your mind. In this file, there are multiple rhythms, many different peaks and valleys, some predictable, probable, in phase with your expectation. As your mind unconsciously creates hypotheses to follow. And yet sometimes there's a little faster rhythm interrupting the previous thoughts and allowing your mind to melt even more. Such a simple state of up and down, pulling even further into the simple, nice trance state. As I continue the experiment with the music and my voice leading you up and then down, controlling for unknown variables and states, creating a dependency on the rhythm that wakes like a wave behind my words, in a frequency that you've heard, a range of coherent creation of thought, until your mind simply drops back into where it was, then flowing and growing into a more relaxed state, almost like music. You feel fading into your mind and this state as the predictable, probable, wonderful feelings slowly melt your mind and leave your thoughts behind. This was a service announcement, and I want to thank you for doing me a great service by listening and letting yourself participate in the ebb and flow, the waves and silence. And in a moment, this may end. However, if my voice follows, however you feel. Otherwise, your attention will return to you and your thoughts will slowly awaken, which all happens by itself, as you might find yourself more drifty than you thought. Enjoy.